Today, UK and Indonesia are setting for a new roadmap for 2024. Technology and youth empowerment are the part of the main agenda. And to delve more, we are joined by the UK Minister for the Indo-Pacific and Mary Travelyan. Minister Travelyan, thank you very much for your time.
It's such a pleasure to be here and to be able to catch up with you.
Yes. So how do you like Jakarta and Indonesia so far?
Well, it's always a pleasure to be back. It's quite hot. You've turned the temperature up a bit, but
Yes.
that's okay. Your air conditioning is blessed release for an English girl. But it's lovely to be here and a chance to catch up both with my team and some of your senior ministers looking at how we are continuing the work on our UK-Indonesia roadmap and some particular activities to push through some of those areas of really important cooperation around innovation and around climate resilient infrastructure, and really to see how, as we go forwards into 2024 and beyond, we continue to work together.
You have revealed a lot of keywords that we need to discuss and elaborate more. So first of all, you've been traveling to several countries in Southeast Asia before you are here right now. So maybe could you please elaborate more? So where have you been to these countries and what is the result so far?
So yes, so I travel all the time in the region. It's I have the best job in government, I think, because this is the most fantastic region of the world. So I was in Laos and Malaysia just a couple of weeks ago, looking at a number of issues from river management and hydropower through to some really exciting economic opportunities that we're working together on. I was in Australia last week talking about critical minerals and working with the Australians on some important defence and security issues as well. And I've come through Timor-Leste on my way out to Jakarta, which was fantastic. I was the first UK minister to visit in many years. So really I spend my time trying to reach across the region to build on these important UK relationships in those areas, as I say, around economic development, around defence and security, and really important for me personally, the issues of how we tackle the climate challenge together.
Yeah. So over half of global growth projected to come from this region, the Indo-Pacific region, by 2050. Some data say that. So how does UK see this opportunity?
Well, clearly this is the region where it's all happening and where all the opportunities are. And we set out in a document the UK government published back in March of this year called the Integrated Review Refresh, a sort of updated assessment of what the Indo-Pacific means to UK's prosperity, such an important part of the UK's opportunities for the future, but also around those security and global issues that we need to be tackling together. So as part of this document, we've made clear that obviously the Euro-Atlantic, which is, if you like, our backyard in the UK, Europe and the Atlantic, is only one part of the whole, and the Indo-Pacific and the Euro-Atlantic are really indivisible in terms of UK's interests and our commitments to those important geopolitical issues.
Maybe could you please elaborate on why Indo-Pacific region? I mean, is it because the number of the citizens, maybe, according to your point of view?
So I think, well, as you say, there is the huge growth potential and opportunities that's going to be here in the region, and that's partly because you have not only here in Indonesia but across the region a really substantial young population coming through, are well educated, really globally interconnected because of the nature of media, social media, and the way our young people are learning their crafts. And we want to be making sure that we are completely working together around trade, making sure the investment flows support what that next generation of young people will be developing, no doubt ideas in the innovation space that we haven't thought of yet. And the UK wants to make sure that we are bringing our expertise and working with this regional talent to maximise not only regional economic growth but global growth, because where that economy grows we can support and sustain those freedoms. The values that the UK believes in very strongly are the ones which allow our citizens to be all that they can be.
Right, I love that keyword. I mean, young audience here, and the power of social media here, and in terms of a positive noise, because they are very active here, and of course of supporting for the economic growth. So in terms of the topic, one of the sector to develop in Indonesia particularly is carbon development through carbon trading. So how do you see this scheme plays its role on overcoming climate change?
So a critically important tool to helping all of us to tackle the climate challenge and to change the way we create our energy and build a sustainable future for all these young people and those who will come beyond it, is to really make sure that all of us are thinking about every part of the decisions government takes. So we're very proud to be part of Indonesian government's low carbon development initiative, and I will be actually later on today meeting up with Minister Mona Arafah to talk about and launch the next stage of that, which we will be part of, which we're very excited about. Those are the really important kind of steps on the journey that Indonesia is leading on, really, to be able to demonstrate how to tackle and meet those climate goals, and importantly to secure that sustainable infrastructure build for the long term, which does things in a different way. I mean, that's what we are all having to achieve. Now, the carbon pricing part of that is, it's one of those important tools in the climate change management that we are all getting our heads around, and how we do it. It's a technological tool to help us to think differently about investment flows. The UK's led the way on both trying to test some of the ideas needed on how to implement carbon pricing, and we're pleased to be working with the Indonesian government as you progress how you do yours. I think it's one of the key areas of policy making as countries move towards their continually improved ambition around their programs to meet that huge challenge. And this is a huge challenge for all of us, but carbon pricing is one of the many tools that we need to all have in place to help make sure that we're going constantly in the right direction.
Right. So you've mentioned that in terms of bilateral between UK and Indonesia, there will be a roadmap set to be implemented next year by 2024. So in terms of this topic, what are some key topics for UK and Indonesia partnership roadmap set to be implemented? It means next year by 2024.
It is next year, that's right.
Yeah.
So some really kind of big pillars, really, I suppose. One is, of course, trade and investment. As we talked about, the day-to-day, business opportunities to really harness the innovative ideas into commercial solutions for Indonesia and UK businesses to grow together. So that's a really important pillar. Then separately, if you like, defence and security, and that of course is always an important part of any government's responsibilities, and we're looking to work together, particularly in the area of cyber security. Really important area, to your point about the modern technical world. The flip side of that is that you need to make sure you can provide the cybersecurity so that citizens can feel safe using these tools and know that they are secure from harm. So a big pillar in that space, and of course, as I say, that pillar around climate change, with a number of tools in our arsenal that we're working together on, of which the development initiative, which we're signing the next stage of today, is if you like, a practical demonstration of what we're progressing. But I'm looking forward to talking to Foreign Minister Retno to discuss this in more detail, and hope that we will continue to be working together on these issues at pace. I think that's one of the challenges we all have. Working, Indonesia is such an important country, regionally speaking, but also globally. So UK and Indonesia working together, we believe, is a really strong partnership to keep moving forward these important issues.
Right. I love that keyword, a strong partnership.
Yeah, it is.
Right. So maybe could you please touch more on the technology partnership? I mean, we've discussing about the potential of young audience here and talking about social media, but you've mentioned as well that the flip side of this one is about the cybersecurity issue, maybe, for example, and we are facing the issue of like scammers here in some countries, in ASEAN countries. So maybe any other one you do want to emphasize related to the technology partnership?
So I am of an age where I am not the expert, and I thought, interestingly, I do feel that I rely on those who are going to understand it to provide that expertise and that protection. And of course, we're seeing incredible growth in Indonesia around the digital and tech sector, and in the region as well. So we want to, work together to mutually kind of get the benefit of our mutual strengths in that. And I think the UK has been leading on some of the cybersecurity work for a long time. So we'll look forward to continuing that. Our UK Newton Fund, which is one of our big investment funds, has been investing in that innovative research and development space to support some of the Indonesian priorities. And it's very broad, actually. It's from to the point about I'm conscious that I don't necessarily think about it. Where is the cybersecurity needed? And it's right from kind of big, infrastructure maintenance, making sure that malign actors can't attack your critical national infrastructure, right through to the digitization of commerce, so e-commerce tools and platforms, again, where your personal financial information needs to be secure. So it's a huge raft, actually, of areas of technological skills that we've brought in, and we have some world-leading expertise there, so we are bringing those together. And actually, earlier in the year, you'll be more familiar with it than I was. I know we held our first UK Southeast Asia Tech Week, which I think was here in Jakarta, again to help bring those businesses together, who are the ones who do all the hard work. Of course, governments set the framework and the policy, but actually it's our businesses, it's our innovators who come up with the solutions that we want to see, there to provide us with that security.
Interesting. Like both government are providing like platforms for the business and also again young people here, because they are more let's say related to the technology. That's a part of daily life.
Yeah.
So when I was in the UK, so I attended one of the biggest, let's say, the digital summit in London. So right now, I heard that the government of UK want to hold the AI Safety Summit. So what goals do you hope to achieve from the upcoming AI Safety Summit in London?
So that's right. So we are hosting the first AI Security Summit, Global Summit, at the beginning of November. And the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, was really clear. He wants to bring the key voices together so that we can together really think about, alongside business and those who work in the AI sector, to really both understand the risks, also the opportunities, because AI is the most extraordinary technology, and there is much in it that will be incredibly valuable. But there are also risks, of course there are, of abuses that we need to get ahead of. So really bringing those key partners together to consider what AI regulation in a global sense needs to look like, how we manage this at as a global family, because to your point, for young people, for those businesses with technology absolutely embedded right through everything they do, this is now going to be an integral part of day-to-day life before long. In fact, there's more of it out there. I'm reliably informed than perhaps we even think of. It's already developing, but that next layer of generative AI needs to be fully understood, and governments together to come up with that regulatory framework. So that's the challenge that the Prime Minister has set us all, and it will be, I think, a really useful first staging post in moving that global family together to find some solutions.
Yeah, even if young people always, let's say, always embed with the technology and playing their business related to technology. Again, like you mentioned, regulation in terms of this AI regulation is important. So maybe could you please elaborate a little bit more about this AI regulation, just according to your, let's say, point of view, what should the government in Southeast Asia start to aware about this? This is, we can say, this is new things. Talking about the AI regulations, UK and other developed countries start to paying attention more on it.
Well, I think that's right. I think what's happened is that as these, extraordinary, brilliant new technologies have, been invented, been tested, started to find commercial outlets, it's been industry, the AI industry, that's been working together really to try and set the rules of the road as best they could. Seeing the opportunities, testing the limits, and so on. But actually, governments need to come together now and ensure that these leading businesses who have a lot of course, the ideas and the understanding already, come together with governments so that we are setting a framework. Same thing, when the car was first invented, we didn't sort of have, rules for traffic management, but we soon realised that we needed to, because the more cars there were on the road, the more chaotic it became. So it's all about really governments coming together to get ahead of that. And really important part of the summit will be the voices of those leading businesses who have been developing and finding those new opportunities for AI in so many sectors. Some of the really exciting work in healthcare, for instance, I think is going to be transformational actually for all of our citizens in terms of the opportunities it brings. So making sure that we can do that in a safe way will be the challenge that all those who are gathered in those rooms and kicking the ideas around can find solutions for. So I think it's going to be a really, really exciting couple of days.
Yeah. Because when we talk about internet, the room is whole global, this planet. I mean, yes, we have to work together, and like governments should be hand in hand together for this issue.
Exactly right.
So talking about the security issue in the Indo-Pacific, you've mentioned about also the issue of security in the region. So is it related as well with the technology development, according to your observation?
Well, so I think at every level, like any new technologies, they have huge positives, but they can be abused by those who either wish us harm or wish to, as you say, you talked about scammers, wish to abuse the tools, to attack and damage, our honest citizens and businesses. So when we look at, that kind of geopolitical security question, it's not only about, sovereignty of borders in a physical sense, it's about ensuring the protection of sovereign assets, of personal assets, and it's just a different way of looking at security than we've had to do in the past. So really important that we work together, and that's where actually the UK and Indonesia are going to be really closely working together for cybersecurity challenges, which sadly every country is facing. But I think the UK and Indonesia team will help others in the region too to find solutions to some of these sadly developing problems, where those who would wish us harm and wish to steal assets through the cyber world need to be stopped.
Right. So my last question. So there are over at least 3,000 Indonesians studying, so Indonesian students right now are studying in the UK.
Yes.
So how do you see this cooperation in the coming future?
Well, it's fantastic to have Indonesian students in the UK. It's always wonderful. I love when I visit universities to meet some of the international students and to hear why they've chosen the UK. Often, because the courses are really detailed on what they study, and because they love the freedom of our education system. But of course, we also have, and I believe you are, a Chevening Scholar, a wonderful, very long-standing programme where we invite those at a more senior academic level, so at a master's level, to come to the UK through a scholarship programme to continue their studies in fact any area that they wish to study. And I think at the moment there are over 200 Chevening Scholars who are from the ASEAN region, I think of which about 70 are Indonesian. So you're doing well, you're topping the charts in terms of that. But the window for next year's applicants is open at the moment. So I hope you will champion and encourage some of the brilliant young people in Indonesia to apply and come and be part of this wonderful programme, which we hope brings some of the UK's unique and world-class education system for others to come and share and learn from.
Right. Thank you very much, Minister Travelyan. Thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
All right. So let's conclude our conversation with the UK Minister for Indo-Pacific and Mary Travelyan. Thank you for watching.